Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We have a variety of time zones in this group right now. Welcome, Kiram or Kairam. How do you pronounce?
Oh, now I hear you, I think.
Okay, Thomas, great. We don't see you anyway.
No.
Not yet.
Of course, wait. I forgot.
That's very performative, by the way. Oh, there you are. Good.
Yes. I'm sorry. My computer is old, and of course, it refused collaboration in the last moment. It collapsed. You know, like always, the last second. The situation looks different.
Excellent. Well, you have made an amazing entrance, and here we are now. Transmitting already, and of course this video will stay in our channel of the Cine Plus Perfo channel in YouTube for everybody to see. We don't expect people to be, with us at the moment because we normally just talk and don't pay attention to the comments. But yes. No, we have. We try to have a true moment among ourselves and to hear from artists about their work. And I was about to begin presenting you. I will read your short bios. I will chop it up in some parts because all of you have amazing trajectories and have done a lot. So that we get into talking about the pieces, to kind of talk about the pieces from inside out, so that interesting stuff comes up. Oh, I just noticed this. Let me just take this. This is, anyway, it's a little mess. To know, the interest is to know about your own processes creating performance, so we depart and we focus on the piece that was presented last year as part of the festival and expand a little bit into some newer things that you may have done. All of you have done a lot, you're very active. To kind of have a sense of the body of it, and some differences with it. So anyway, I will start with Kairam. Kairam is part of a duo, Kairam and Julius Kaiser. And their work they have presented is called Human Installation, Gender Obsolescence. It's from 2009. Now, okay, so we get into that, but so Kairam and Julius Kaiser is an Italian artist couple based in Rome with individual expertise in the fields of visual and performance art, video art, film, and LGTB activism. Upon their encounter, they started the project Human Installations, a research comprising contemporary art, live art, and avant-garde theater. In a constant dialogue with cinema, they create works of video art, documentaries, and films. Their interest lies on the social function of the artist, existential dynamics, the role of identity, and the experimentation along mental and physical limits and gender roles. Italian art critics consider Kiram or Kairam, she will tell me how to pronounce, and Julius Kaiser a point of reference for the performance art in Italy. And of course, they have gotten the Laguna Prize in 2009 for this piece. Wonderful. Now we have Jinxiang Liu. He is based in Taiwan, and we have the longest time stretch. He's in the evening. Born in Taiwan, 1974. He's an artist of several aspects, was honored special announced in Visual Art Break 21 International Festival of Young Independent Artists at Slovenia on 2000. His art projects are mostly constructed with visual elements, music, and live performance using automatic drawing, like the surrealist, to capture the messages from the cosmos. He tries to explore in mysticism. These years, he was invited by the Performing Art Festival in China, Korea, Serbia, many other festivals. He also has more done cooperations with contemporary composer with images and also performance. Good. I want to know about that. How do you interact with a composer and live music? I suppose I'm very interested in that. And we have Thomas.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, from Poland. He lives in Finland. So Thomas graduated in 1998 from the Academy of Fine Art in Wrocław. I for sure did not pronounce it well, Poland.
That's how we pronounce in English, Wrocław.
Yeah, okay.
Difficult. Yes.
Okay. And currently you live in Finland, yes.
I live longer in Finland than in Poland already.
Yeah, yeah, you are a Finnish person with Polish blood. No,
I would say that I replace all the molecules already.
You already
in my body.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably. And you have little bits from many other parts that you travel, because you travel constantly performing, and
sure.
Our bodies are affected by all of the places we live in and the people that we communicate with. Absolutely. So you shift multiple disciplines, including photography, video action, art, and other time-based works. Regardless of the medium, a dominant thread common in his work is the use of his own body and methods of performance art, which he has practiced since 1995. So before you graduated.
Yes, I started already in academy.
Being active. Characteristic features of his actions are the use of spectators and improvisation. I love your actions, so much fun.
Thank you.
Such a strategy embeds his presentations into the tradition of understanding performance art as process art, where the very moment of creation is essential and is shared, obviously, live. His work touches on themes of travel, trust in interpersonal relationships, and the ever-present potential for personal failure. That's fun too. Shrama, is that all right? Shrama?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Shrama has been regularly performing internationally in various events, festivals, all over Europe, Asia, Africa, North and South America. You still have to go to Buenos Aires between 2008 and all of you have to come to Buenos Aires, please. 2017, he has worked as a producer, designer, technical manager, and has been responsible for organizing live art events at HIAP Helsinki International Art Program. Further, over the past 16 years, he has been an active performance art event organizer. Currently gives lectures and offers workshops everywhere, recently in Mexico. And very good. And he has all kinds of excellent support from the wonderful institutions of Finland.
Yes, lately I have to say, yes, this is,
Yeah.
I am privileged, but it's lately. I
Yeah.
have to always underline, if somebody is jealous, that it it happened lately, so it means in the end of my long life.
It took some time.
Yes,
It took some
yes.
time. Yes, institutions are slower. I mean, yeah. That's why performance artists, we create our own events and institutions because we gotta do it.
Yes, that's why I mentioned that, because it's so important actually that because we know best, and maybe in discussion it will come. But what is the role of the artist organizer in performance art events? Yes.
Very important, very important. Then, of course, Gustav was part of our group today, but he cannot attend because he broke a leg. And the poor Gustav is healing, and with painkillers in some clouds there, he just relaxed and heals well.
I think that we should wish him the best, yes, for
all
quick
our
recovery.
For Gustav. Yes.
And I have to mention that I wouldn't mind his fluffy mind, because I think it's also very important in performance art, little bit fluffy mind.
Very, very much. That's why, yeah, and in his bio, he presents already very interesting concepts, which I will share right now.
Good.
So he was born in Sweden, 1966. Gustav's practice is engaged with the exploration of the nature of consciousness, the dualistic concept of being nature as the biological process of the body and being mind. In his practice, he started off working in photography and installation, but two works in particular led him to work with the more formless process of performance. In 1991, Brons burned all his work, and in doing so, realized that the intensity of the action and the remaining ash far outdid anything he had previously made. In 2005, that's very, very, very deep. I like it a lot. Anyways, this art is very important. I like that in his bio, he's telling us about these moments in his process of becoming a performance artist, from the general field of visual arts. So in 2005, he completed a series of works entitled 5 Faiths for a Brave New World, in which he worked with objects that were physically too heavy for the body to move, right? These two experiences created a longing, emotional, to explore the formless. I love that. And led up to the project entitled A Walking Piece made with Trish Litter, in which the two artists spent 18 months walking across Europe. The result is considered a drawing piece. Wonderful. These conceptual propositions that engaged in some highly demanding actions, and the sort of moment of turning over to what you have been doing, and sort of plunging into the experience, into making art as making experience for your own life, that in your own life transformation, certainly. Also, like a change of scale there, no? 18 months, a piece that is 18 months. Certainly a change of scale, the abstract and the scale. The concept is kind of like a dematerializing thing, this minimalizing stuff, and then actions can scale into the world, into real life, as real life is, unending, you know, and beyond the self also, which is very, very interesting. Okay, we have Dimple Shah next, and Dimple has an amazing also development, a lot of work. She's practicing multidisciplinary. She is a practicing multidisciplinary artist from Bangalore, studied in MS University Baroda. Her art practice has developed in painting, printmaking, installation, and performance art. She has worked in various residencies, Krupa Gallery, in Poland, again, that word, the same. The Art House UK, Villa Welbreta, Germany, Space Studio, Baroda, Glasgow, Print Studio UK, Printmaker Studio. So Dimple, you're active in all of these disciplines as well, doing things and working, and your performances also sometimes incorporates this making, this dealing with materialities, right? Yeah. She has been honored with national and international awards, among them Brussels International Residency UK 2019, Villa Welbreta Residency Munich 2017, India Foundation for the Arts grants.
I think, yeah, that's a bio, so you don't need to read that. It's a bio.
Yeah. You know, lots of prizes. All right, and here we have her, and we are gonna start talking amongst us now. I think we can kind of start. I had sent some like ideas or things that I saw. Of course, the works are all very diverse, and that's absolutely very, very interesting. We have issues of like gender, questioning gender, dramaturgy, you know, the idea of dramaturgy, like especially in the work of human installation, you know, as a collective work, that, you know, collective work can have different takes, and one of them is this, you know, that a concept precedes the exploration of the form it's going to have, and then you have to negotiate with the people that are going to participate in it to make it happen, right? The frontality, composition of an image, and development with a surprise ending. You know, the idea of surprises within performance, which also a very interesting, very important element, something that Thomas does. Every second there's a little surprise there. And then, you know, this thing between, of course, the private, social, the political discourse, you know, the references that have made the need for that piece to happen. You know, what are the things that, talking about the piece that was shown last year, what are the sort of contextual elements in your own life and the place where you did those performances? What was the situation at the time and in the place and within yourself for that to happen, right? To be triggered, and maybe focusing on that. Then, of course, we have this thing about realism and fiction. You know, especially it's always there, fiction and, you know, so-called realism I mean, gender, you know, we can say gender is a construction, is constant fiction, right, in our lives. And we really need this dialogue with the expansion of what, you know, we have come to identify as real. Narratives and temporalities contested. Different things, lots of things to talk about. So maybe we start with Kiram or Kairam, and now you tell me how to say your name, and you can tell us about the. I think this was the first piece you and Julius did, or not? We don't hear you well.
We don't hear you, really.
We don't hear.
There is some sound, but not understandable.
Oh, well, if you get closer, or your volume.
Or maybe some headphones. Usually, you know, they look ugly, but they help.
It's true. I know.
Headset.
Now you can hear no?
A little bit, but do you have headphones you could wear? Perhaps that helps, that tends to help.
Maybe it's the problem of the mic charger.
I heard that there is some problem, I think, with sound card, but I'm not sure. And you hear us well, are you?
Maybe you should increase the volume of the sound, then we can hear better.
Yeah, sometimes getting closer to where the modem, you know, for the internet, it helps also.
Now, I don't know why sound.
We hear you at least a little bit, so let's talk to us and
on the chat, and you can go.
Okay, so she's going to write in the chat. Okay, and let me open the chat. Yes. Okay. Okay, I think you can make your comments if you like. Yeah. Okay, yeah, earlier it was working. Yeah, there is really something is happening, and it's a mystery. We leave it there. Perhaps you can write your ideas there if you know, and then we review it later if you can do that, because I don't see how other way we could you know, communicate with you, because we really, when you talk, it's very low. So yeah, so maybe we move to focus a little bit in. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. You try to see if with the cell phone works. Fine, good. So we, Yang Sheng, we talk to you now. We listen to you. Rather.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So that
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
If
Yeah.
we can focus on your work. Tell us anything that comes to mind in relation to when you made it. Why? What were the things, you know, and perhaps what within that work and has stayed with us in other future works or stays. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think this work is somehow very special for me because it is 2008. So that I had some arranged from 2003 or 2002. Yeah, we have to look back to that time and you can understand why I did this. So I have the slide. I want to show the slide. Okay.
Wonderful, excellent. Let's do it. Let's show and you tell us about it.
Yeah. So this is
Very
2002.
good. Yeah,
it's called
okay.
Southern Girl, and that's an artist residential in the South village somehow in Kaohsiung in Taiwan. And that is very beginning of the artist residential project here in Taiwan. So I was very lucky to select it as an artist then. And they had an idea that they want to have a parade in the afternoon market. So that we artists thinking, oh, what we should do. And because some of a curator, somehow she had a lot of this kind of wedding dress.
Okay.
And they provide this dress for the local peoples. So that I picked one, the underwear. So I was in the beginning, the very first of the parade. So I dressed as a lady. Something very interesting happened that time. Was because the next day, the village people told us, oh, they saw a girl who wore her skirt out to show her underwear to them. So that interests me. I mean, it was very strong as a drag character for normal people or for the village people. They had very strong impression at that moment. So this is the very beginning of my drag character in my works. So you can see that in the middle, I was in the real wedding, a group of people here there, and the right side somehow it's a picture that I took in my room, the residential room. Yeah, so that it had a strong energy, I think, for me to drag like this. But at that time, I really don't know how to manage that. What kind of work I should do. Yeah, so that it becomes like this. And the end of the residence, there is a performance somehow. Yeah. So that is the very beginning of the drag character.
Yeah. Oh.
So this is the 2003. This is the collected works. And yeah, I start to transform this kind of drag into all kind of situation. For example, like I think this kind of drag character somehow it's like shaman.
Yeah.
So that I ask every male in this performance wear high heel.
Okay.
That make
Okay.
very interesting situation for the audience. Because this is not so normal. This is surreal somehow.
Right.
Yeah. So this is a very big project.
Yeah. Let me ask you. So you interact, this is a collective work, but it
This
was
is
your
collective work.
idea. You generated the work.
Yeah.
And you invited different artists, men and women, to be part of. How long was the whole piece, the duration of that?
This is very complicated because it's a 3-day performance, and each day has different kinds of performance. Yeah. So in the left side, the left upper, this one is the day one. It's
day one. Yeah.
Yeah, about 40 minutes, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And
and
the left under, this is the day 0.
Yeah. Right.
It's 30, I think, 30 minutes something. And the right upper, it's 20 minutes something. That's the third, day 3. Oh my God. Earthquake now.
Oh, right now happening?
Yeah.
Take care. What do you do in that situation? If you need to go, go.
I don't know. It's big. Oh no.
It stopped?
Yeah. Oh, it's very, very big. Oh my God.
Okay. Listen, what do you do in that case? You go, you have a place that is safer that you can go? Go ahead and go and go.
No, it depends, but it's not that big.
You're used to that.
But it's a big one, but not for us to run.
Okay. Wow.
This is amazing. Again, we have another performance of.
I know.
This is big.
With earthquake. How could you arrange that? Oh my gosh!
This is really big. I have to say.
Oh.
At this area.
Yeah. Oh.
Okay. Stop.
Oh. Oh wow!
It's about the earthquake time now, Taiwan. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Yeah,
it's very big. I have to say,
it started moving again. Is it going through phases?
Yeah. So I will depend. If it's really urgent, I have to run.
Make sure you have shoes on. Make sure you have shoes on so you can run or whatever. I don't know.
It's interesting because I cannot see it in the video. I don't see anything shaking, but I believe you, of course.
Claro. Yeah. That's the.
Okay.
But you see, when we speak about this, beginning of our entering into performance art, it is as a earthquake. I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So very good illustration. No, we are laughing, but I just came from Mexico. They, of course, in Mexico City, then they have really, really heavy earthquakes that are really dangerous and absolutely not funny. And I could see it. I have never seen any earthquake, but I experienced the alarm of potential one. So I saw, how people are still remembering what has happened recently and how afraid they are, and they usually run out. That's why I'm surprised that you are still sitting there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even
Yes,
I've experienced earthquake earlier in 2002, and it was a very big earthquake in parts of Gujarat, which is western part of India. And I was sitting in a small hotel with my friend to have a cup of tea, and the cup and saucer were just shaking, and then we ran out, and the sculpture was dancing like that. So it was really very big tremor. So I know how it is, like, and I think, you should be better, be careful rather than attending, just be careful. That's all, to ready to run.
Yeah. I know. I met bigger ones so that I know.
So tell me, Yingxian, what do you do when it starts shaking? First of all, do you have your shoes on? Not the high heels. That wouldn't work.
Yeah, I have my shoes on. Yeah,
Okay, great.
I have to somehow. Yeah,
I don't have my shoes on, people. I'm at home. I don't have my shoes on.
So it's okay. Sometimes we cannot run just like that. It will be very dangerous. Yeah.
What you do is you run outside.
Or
Are you in a building?
You hide something, under.
Depending. If you are in a building, I think you tend to go out. You will go out. If you are in a flat house, low house, perhaps you go under a strong something structure that can. But anyway, wow. So it has stopped.
It stopped. Yeah.
Okay. Has it been frequent? Now we talk about earthquakes. Has it been frequent? Has it been happening frequently?
Yes. Taiwan, we had a lot of earthquakes. Yeah.
But more than usual, or?
But this one is really big, so. So I had no idea. But the alert didn't. Yeah. The cell phone's alert is not on, so that was not on. So I don't know what happened. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's hope.
Oh yes, it's on. Yeah, it's on. Oh, it's we had many earthquakes on the eastern coast, the Pacific Ocean there. So yeah, because I live in Tainan, it's western coast.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we were talking about this collective piece that you did. This one was what year was this one?
It's 2003.
2003 as well.
Because 2003. Yeah.
Right. The video piece was after this.
Yeah, this after that. Yeah. Okay. Why is that? I will explain why it became like that. Because this kind of collective work, it was very complicated, and you need a lot of money. I have to say, and you need to do and make the installation. You have to make the costume, something like that. You have to make the music for it. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Right. So sorry to interrupt you, because I want to understand what was happening. We just there was music there, and what were it's very interesting that there were 3 different moments. Was this part of a larger event that was supporting you? And is this like a type of gallery space, right? A section has been you took a section and sort of the audience is in the opposite place to observe. Yeah. And you used music. It was recorded music.
No, I made it.
you made the music.
Yeah, I made the music. Yeah.
That was played. Okay.
Yeah. So that.
And what were the ideas or the premises that you told people? Were they improvising these three different moments, or
No.
somehow no, they had to do certain things? Tell us.
Each day had its own rule. I should say the last day, the day 3, there's 10 people there. Somehow I work with them. I ask them to develop something for the day, one by one. Yeah. Then I collect them together. I think it's the premiere before
Yeah.
the day before premiere. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they don't have
sort of rehearsal. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a rehearsal or something like that. But they work with me one by one. So that I'm trying something new for me to work with, not so traditional way to construct a theater work or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the other day somehow it's all my concept. So I ask them to do something exactly what I like to. Yeah. But because they had their own character, so I have to give them some space for them. So okay, because for example, there is a man who wear a very short skirt. Somehow he was managing the lighting all the time in the performance, but somehow his movement is very, very, very beautiful. It becomes part of the performance, but the job is he's doing the lighting. Yeah. The performance of the day 1 and day 0. The day 2 is very special. It was only 2 people there. There was only 2 people for me, and I'm trying something very, very ceremony. Somehow
which one of the images?
The lower middle and right.
The lower middle, yeah, I thought so.
Right,
okay.
And the right.
Yeah, right. Okay, the far right. Yeah, so that one became more like a ceremony, but
yeah,
you also had so in the concept of these 3 different moments, there were some things that could be transformed, that could change your idea, because you said that in this one, it was only 2 people. It was you and that other person.
Yeah.
Was it? Did I hear well? And that was pre-arranged, or it was just that was the only person who went to the performance to meet, to work with you, or was that something that happened, or was pre-arranged that it would be just 2? Everything was pre-arranged.
Yeah, everything is pre-arranged.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So what were the things you were exploring? I mean, you told us a bit something about having the men wear high heels. Yeah. What else can you tell us?
Because I want to create some performing that is very different from the traditional way, so that because of the name, the nano project, because of nanotechnology is changing the property of the molecule or something like to become another stuff. So that in the concept of these movement, I think it very to the traditional theater thinking. So because some of them were from the theater, so that I want to give a new idea for them to participate in this performance. And for the audience, it was very special because the whole area is the installation. You can see the papers. That's thousands of A4 papers, thousands, 10,000s, stick on the wall or in the floor, or become the screen. Yeah.
Okay, that's the only image we have, right? That yeah, okay. So this work was precedent to the work in the video that you showed, and you said something that you're fascinated with white. Clearly we see the white here. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Because I think white is very pure. And it seems there is nothing in the white, but it can be very spiritual, or it is a light.
Yeah.
And I like the pure of the white, but
nice.
actually it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's not. You say it's not?
I try to verify this kind of stuff by very simple impression of the colors.
Yeah.
So later you see the white fantasy, because the video is white fantasy 2. The first one, you can see a very interesting white stuff. Okay. I had a
tell me.
I have tried in this kind of large scale work. This should be 2006. I have the wrong year for that. It's called the organic sensation. Somehow I had my high heel again, and the bodies. It is very difficult to explain this work by these photos, but you can see that I am so interested in this kind of stuff, the white stuff, body, high heel, and very strange gender. Or the light, because you see the middle button is
the lights.
The light, it's very powder in the oil, the glow. What you call powder in the glow? Powder in glow. Yeah. So in the dark it will glow to show the bodies. Yeah.
Okay.
So we quickly to the white fantasy.
Oh, so white fantasy. Yes.
White fantasy. So the first one is called a feast.
Okay.
I invent 3 dishes.
Sorry, white fantasy. Is it the dessert?
Yeah, that's a
coconut.
Is the rice.
What is it?
All kind of white stuff.
Yeah, rice, sweet rice.
Cream.
Cream. You're making me hungry.
Yeah, and
all right.
This is somehow very funny, because I took out the principles of the food. We always say that the food should look very good and smell good and taste good.
Yes.
But I unify the color.
Yeah.
So this is the first, second dishes of the white feast. And I explained to come to my house to eat.
Right.
So I think this white fantasy is
so let me clarify.
Yeah.
Yanqing. Let me clarify. So you made this dessert, which is the name of the piece that's going to follow. First moment, you invite some people or it's people that you live with or whatever, and they eat the dessert because we see you serving, right?
Yeah.
You're coming with a tray and you have the this attire that later on is two different moments. It's not like one is continuous to the other one, right?
Yeah, no. Yes.
Yeah, two different moments.
Two different moments.
No,
yes.
it was continuous.
No, it's different moment. Different moment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
Different moment.
Okay, fine. Okay. So this is first moment, and we understand the whole thing. Now it's very interesting we can put a little bit of your piece now. We play a little bit of your piece, which people have, I mean, our friends in the group, they probably watch it, but you can put a little bit, and without sound, so we can. By the way, the place is so beautiful. I want to go to Taiwan.
Yeah.
Is that a forest that is close to where? Anyway, it's so beautiful.
That's my friend's father's bamboo forest.
Oh,
actually, they harvest bamboo there. They grow up bamboo. They harvest the bamboo child.
I love
that.
bamboo. I love bamboo.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Sure.
And because I want it like the martial art film thing. The martial art like bamboos.
Okay. But they're flexible. Okay. They're flexible. And anyway, interesting. You have that association. So you are doing that in the middle of the bamboo forest. Those are small, but I have seen in Japan very tight bamboo forest, like amazing.
That's beautiful. Because they want to eat their child, so they won't grow very big.
So anyway, and this is sort of like the last part of the action. It's interesting that the video has like this way of going. So there is the
going down the creek.
Iba, the walking, getting into the place, and
getting
a friend,
waters.
and a friend, getting the water, and a friend that is with the camera taking you. So still at that beginning, it creates a certain intimacy in which the person holding the camera is us in a way, or we see you because she's there. And there is this empathy, which is interesting. It's a person that is behind the camera, but there is an intimacy that we feel. And then, so this was a different moment, but it relates to this idea. Okay, so there is how do you talk about that? Of course you are like deconstructing sort of masculinity, your own, and you are expressing and constructing and manifesting your own particular masculinity, your own body, your person, your gender, exploring the expansion of your gender, and through obviously the elements that culture give us. This is male, this is female, and you play that, doing all kinds of things at the same time. Of course, the sexuality is of the eroticism in the sense of feeling one's own life, one's own body alive, of course, and the expression, like you said, the bamboo, the macho. Okay, so that's it has a specific, like a certain energy or some association for you that is enticing, and of course nature is queer. Nature is queer. It's all like amazing expressions of life and forms. And so this is central to your work, is it? Can you talk about that? And in relation to you said you talked about automatic drawing, this method of the surrealists and mysticism. I like this exploration of gender, erotics, mysticism, and breaking the molds. No, go ahead.
Because I'm very sensitive to this kind of energies, so that I can do the energy drawing for many titles. I mean, if you give me a name, I can draw you now. I mean, the situation now, or the energy now of someone, something like that. That is very easy for me.
Very sensitive.
Yeah. So that
wonderful. So because you also said that you associate like your own intervention with like a shamanistic thing.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's so interesting. Okay.
Just because at that time I'm learning some energy healing.
Sure.
So that I had some posture for that. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, and you have wind now. Look at that.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. It's very interesting moment.
So the nature is really with you. The earthquakes, the winds, if you need it.
No.
But it happened. But performance, if there is something in a performance for me valuable, is those moments that let the coincidence to happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So it was very nice moment that actually this air reacted.
Yeah.
So clearly.
Yeah, and we know that happens. It happens.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. Yeah.
The high is so difficult.
Earth is this irregular surface, and we are animals. We need to. I was just thinking today, the sole of our feet is so sensitive. I was thinking, so we had to wrap them up. We had to invent shoes anyway, because we cannot go on feeling so much from there, And nevertheless, you wear high heels there in nature.
In the nature.
No. Very nice. Yeah. This long hair.
So that in my performances, in the middle, I always change clothes or change my gender. So that it is very powerful somehow.
Right.
Transformation. Yes. This is the
transformation. The sun comes.
Exactly.
The sun comes.
Yes. Yes. Transformation. And do you have you do these circles? There are specific number of circles. I didn't count it. I can count them, but you tell me.
I don't know.
You just go about.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe yes. Maybe not.
Okay. Okay.
But that is not really. Somehow,
I think that the circles are very much always ritualistic. That's maybe the main one of and I think that I can sense that there is a lot of intuition in your works, that you just do what you feel like.
I think I had circle faster and faster. Faster and faster. Then
Yeah. So
actually, the water is very clean. The water is so clean. Yeah, so clean.
It's from spring, natural, that you got gathered over there.
Yeah, from the mountains. Yeah.
Yes. Oh.
And in the in April, there are many fireflies.
Spring. Yeah.
Very beautiful.
small cascades.
Fireflies.
Yeah, fireflies. Yeah. So it means that the water is very
The water
clear.
is coming. Yeah, water
Yeah.
is coming from the ice melting, and yes, it's all together.
Yeah, fireflies
And,
always makes the space sparkling, but it's difficult to capture. Yes, it would be difficult to make it at night to see them.
Yeah, very. And it's so magical moment, huh? Those little bugs.
But who is filming it? Because I see that there is zooming with the camera.
Yeah, that's my friend.
So it's not
Yeah.
just camera there. You have one
No.
observer.
Yeah. There's the one.
Yeah, there is a
helping.
person. In the beginning of the video, we sense this person that is walking with him. They are walking
Yes.
towards
Yeah.
the spot.
Just
Actually,
wanted to
that's
know.
what-
I just wanted to know if there is more than the like
Yeah,
audience. But
actually, that was my boyfriend.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
export.
X now.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah, and so of course this is a solo work,
Yes.
and prior you showed us this other collective work,
Yeah.
and they are related. You relate them.
They are related.
Yeah.
But I give up the collective work because it is too difficult for me. Yeah, you have to spend many money and many time to negotiate the concept with people. Yeah.
Sure. Yes. Yes.
And actually, this film, at that time, I was prepared for a Chinese artist. Somehow he said that he wanted to have a film festival, a performance film festival called Not Present. So is it the concept now we do that we brought the site to the film, something like that. Yeah, but I didn't show this
Yeah.
film. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's a very special moment, really. Again, wearing the high heels.
Yeah,
Very important. I guess the high heels. There you go.
Disappear.
Disappearing. How fantastic. This is what technology.
Jump to the other dimension.
Probably, yes, become spirit. Yeah, very soon. In fact, shamans are supposed to be able to do that. Some, not everyone. Some do that, They travel with their spiritual body. Anyway, that I like all this very special combination exploration of things you do, the erotic, yourself, the body, masculinities, deconstructing and at the same time this mysticism, that is within. And we will come back. Now we move to Dimple Shah, but maybe you can talk prepare a little something about the music that you also compose, and we talk more about this combination of languages that you do or you did, like in this collective piece you showed us. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Yingshan. Wonderful. Okay, Dimple, dear. We let's so we can talk. Male, put the video trailer of all the pieces, so we see glimpses of all the pieces. At some point, it in mute, so we can continue talking. And Dimple, tell us a little bit about what made you, what were the things that motivated for that piece to happen? And if it had, I remember we had a prior conversation, there was some relationship to the site you were in. So tell us about that.
Basically, this work was done in 2010, and if we see,
over where that's human installation, the work of Kiran, and you see why we do the lives through YouTube. Just to make a note here, because of in YouTube the nudity is not an issue if you say there is good,
yes.
Yeah. So
okay.
That's Thomas, of course. And then soon we get a little bit. Yes, go ahead, Dimples.
Yeah, so basically that work was done in 2010, and I was working with it was a 3 years long research on subject of alchemy, because I've been working on the subject of alchemy since last 20 years. And it all started when I was in Glasgow, and I started doing research on the alchemy, the Western alchemy, where you work with the transformation of impure object to the most purest form, where you filter it by heating up in a vessel, and then it gets into the pure form of gold. So it starts with lead and it reaches to the point of gold. And this particular piece which I shared is one of the element where we are talking about material as a kind of tin. Tin is one of the element which needs to be purified, and then so when we talk about like each metal, like lead is also very toxic, and you find it in criminals' body. And I work with various levels of kind of research where we can find these elements in human body, and how it can be seen in a society, and also in scientific and chemistry. So I amalgamate all these elements in my research, and then when I work all these things work out in a very subconscious level. So when I was working with the material tin, actually tin is used vastly in everyday life to preserve food. Like, we have tin containers and things like that. And so when I was working with the element of tin and my body, I thought I should try to preserve my body. And the main philosophy of alchemy is to reach the ultimate immortality stage. The why you want to extract exiles and things like that, because you want to kind of defeat the death itself. So you want to make your body as an immortal which can live longer and longer, and there is no death. So in the process, I thought, like, when you can preserve food and when you can preserve things, I should also try to preserve my body. And in the process, I asked one of my friend who is wrapping me right now to wrap my body in that tin foil, which we usually use the silver foil to wrap the food materials. Usually when we do the packing, we use this material. And although it started with very naive idea, in process it became a paradox, because by the time my friend finished wrapping me completely, and the first problem was I was not able to breathe. So when I was totally wrapped, and then we realized that, okay, there is like no space to breathe, because it's not cloth, it's a aluminum foil which is wrapped, and then we had to make like 2 holes just to me to breathe a little bit. And this was done in a site, it's called as it is an artist residency space, and it is an old industrial place where you have this outside the factory, there is this space, and I was living in a place called as Baroda, which in the summertime it reaches up to 48 degrees Celsius. And I did this performance in mid-afternoon, and it was 48, almost 48 degrees Celsius. And you can imagine that, when you are wrapped, I was sweating so much. You can't believe it. My whole clothes were wet inside, and and you can't unwrap immediately unless you are done with what you had planned. So although we did at different spots, but it was very exhausting mentally and physically both. And the whole idea was defeated, of maintaining my body as kind of safeguarding it. And then I call my work as a paradox, because it was an experiment which I wanted to conduct on myself. And that's why it was also titled as a tin cry, because it literally made me cry after the whole act. And the preserving body was main essential content in this work. So
very interesting. Let me just it's so interesting everything you've said in relation to, of course, this research on alchemy and the aim of immortality that is into that ancient science. It's like the beginning of science, beginning of chemistry and physics and all. And of course, which is together with spirituality as shamanism. Shamanism is one of the earliest and most complete types of knowledge in terms of the interaction with materiality, and very interesting, very, very interesting.
Yes, I would like to even underline this, some name like Isaac Newton was alchemist too, like we know now. Even more spend more time with alchemy than with his physics and mathematics. And it's also, I think it's very interesting that it was about this what we are maybe afraid the most, about preserving eventually life, this immortality, which performance usually reveal how like your experiment revealed that we actually are very vulnerable. And
absolutely.
So for me, performance is very often going into the area that there is no way for a legacy. And maybe this what we are watching now here, this video, is like kind of desperate, our desperate attempt to a little bit preserve those moments that usually, mostly, will be just ephemeral and forgotten. Sorry for my sentence.
Oh, please, thank you so much. This is the thing, it's like to converse, to move it around, and absolutely pertinent, of course. And it's this reflection of what the type of art we do in this relationship of utopia, right? We constantly aim to go to the nowhere, and the question of immortality and the fear of the things about understanding death, because life, when we are alive, our body is like life is, it's just it's an amazing experience. It's amazing. It's abundant in itself, right? And our whole this little machine we are is absolutely vulnerable.
Yes.
And Dipurcha, you mentioned the failure, but the failure is there is another thing there into it, which is failure creates new knowledge, right? Of course. And then you just
failure is written into experiment. If we call performance experimental art, so that's why I have this always. I use this. I say that there is always potential failure that I'm working with.
Yeah.
But I have also. I have to say that less and less I can define what is failure, especially in performance art.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It is like this plunging into an experience from the purity of a sense, some inner pulsion, something that is very inner, but is connected, of course, to all of our cognitive and the research, like in this case, about alchemy and all kinds of questions that are shared with scientists, philosophers, and every person walking on Earth. We have similar vulnerabilities. We have similar capabilities of, sensibilities or whatever. And death is this thing we are trying to understand life, and then we can understand our own death. It's like, wow.
Yes, is this the trip, and we have all the same destiny.
Yeah.
We will arrive probably in the same point sooner or later. Yes, this is
Yeah.
kind of maybe this idea, this totalitarian idea of it, and of course, like we have great moments, we share great moments in our life. So of course we
Absolutely.
are afraid that someday it will be over. Yes, I think.
Yes.
But
yes,
I also
yes.
think that we especially in so-called these big in big agglomerations and like well-developed societies, we start to demonize the death, and we are afraid of it more and
Right.
more. Maybe like it's good to have trip to sometimes to Poland or to Mexico to see how they spell the death. Yes, that's
Yes,
something that we
exactly.
should be closer. We really are isolated of it, and maybe that's why it's become more and more difficult to accept it.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to mention that, of course, the cultural understanding and collective, organizing of the fear of death. But at the same time, let's not forget all these wars that are being perpetrated, all these mass killings that humans are doing to other humans, and in not only in relationship to territories and material power, but also in the micro, in the domestics. We know women and trans people are being killed like systematically, and now there is like this new wave of burning the witches. I mean, it's really amazing the femicide rates is going rampant everywhere. It's really, really, really amazing. Part of this shifting of things that we are at this moment in which, culturally, we sort of, because of this communication, and we can be able to be in so many different countries at this time in communicating our ideas, we are affecting reality that way. We definitely have transformed our own lives, our own consciousness. And this, so we when we do that, we escape the general control of the global system, which is regulated only purely by economics and disparities in all that it comes with it, right? So, but of course, there are other cultures and micro areas that also death is, how to understand that is it's a question for consciousness and scale, because life continues, of course, So that the thin cry, and I like very much the title you put, Dimple, and I was thinking, yes, sometimes we come up with the titles afterwards, after what the experience, you gave yourself to an experience, yes. And then the experience is always, experience is that, you don't know exactly the outcome. You know, you plot some things because that's what you're thinking. You plot it, you go into it, and something else happens. You know, it's unbearable. It becomes something, and then you try to sustain. It becomes this resistance piece, which has a visuality. Maybe you thought of the visuality and you just got into it, and the physical experience told you something else. And I'm sure it transformed you because those things make you stronger. Anyway, you know, getting closer to those limits. Yeah.
But I very often, oh, sorry, go on. Sorry.
Yeah,
please. I feel, you know, all this kind of, you know, I don't know, I encounter this kind of insecurity in several layers. And that has informed my work over the years. Even my earliest starting works in 2003 was informed with the communal rights we had in Baroda. And I was in a house closed for 4 days, and curfew all over, a lot of people killed, and the mobs were running around with weapons, swords, whatever they could. And, you know, I could hear cylinder blast next road. And, you know, and you never know like what life can be after 4 days, or will you survive this kind of insecure situation, socio-human situation. And so my earlier works were informed with this kind of insecure status. And as you know, like in India, we have a lot of problem with women's safety, and obviously the witches, you know, the witches, I think it's very age old and it still continues, but in a different name maybe, because, you know, there is always a kind of the tradition of witches which is there, you know, like, you know, people can use it to give the name just to, but they want to do this kind of crimes, you know, it's just a name. So all this background of the conflict zones, and then the earthquake, and then I faced a very high flood in Mumbai city. When I was in Mumbai, I just escaped that drowning in the water. I survived that flood also. So this kind of always putting, like, I come encounter this kind of insecure situation, not by my choice but by accident, you know. So there was a very big flood in 2005. Maybe if you just Google Mumbai flood in 2005, you will see a lot of images in website, you know, where how the flood has affected those time. And the kind of in what to say, bridge which I crossed, next day there were a lot of people died there underneath, and a lot of animals, buffaloes, cows, you know, from the cow shed were all killed, you know. And I survived that. And I'm not very tall, I'm just 5 feet. So somebody was holding my collar and I was jumping in water. The water was still here. And the current, the flow of the current of the flood was very, very, very strong.
Very strong.
Yeah. So this somehow, you know, has helped me to evolve from all these sources. And then I started searching for some kind of an solution, not just talking about the situation, but how one can come out of this kind of through catharsis, through healing, through process, through transformation, through ritual, you know. So then I started incorporating all these elements of rituals and, you know, in my work slowly. And the alchemy became more stronger. And then I started incorporating many healing elements in my work. When you talk about turmeric or a salt, ashes, milk. So maybe if we can just run through this presentation, which I can given.
Yeah.
We'll get a glimpse of it.
Excuse me, Dimple. We will come back to the newer work, and it's the perfect moment. We come back to that. And so it's really good you mentioned that, because now we are already transitioning to that. And we move to
Yeah.
Thomas. To Thomas' piece, you can play a little bit in silent. We are going to play in background silence. So Thomas, tell us, this was part of a curatorial that Jonas Stample did, I think, in New York, right?
Yes.
So was it the first time you were in New York?
Yes, that was my first time I'm in New York.
So you did a piece about money. Appropriate. Yes. Yeah, let's go into it. Tell us anything you want to talk.
Maybe I will start first of this from the beginning, from the bio, because I don't know how you found it, but of course that was the bio that I use usually, very dry and boring bio. But if you see on my webpage, the page about me, that you see that there is completely different story, because my own bio is something else that I would present for the institution. And it's also very similar that I had very much all like several experience in life that lead me to this live performance. And for example, I also survived a flood in Poland in '97. Not so dangerous for a life, but I lost everything in the water, in the brown water, everything that I created in '97. I already moved in '96 to Finland, but I never managed to bring my stuff. So all my works that were tangible, like prints, paintings, I lost everything, which led me to this idea that I will create art that there is not so much left after. Another thing is that I'm using camera to record sometimes like small notes, like or ideas as a pictures, or I usually also record something when I have time at home, like some videos. So it's performance for camera, but I'm not so much interested in it. I do it only to make notes about the ideas. I perform live, and this is very important for me,
of course.
because like when I explain what is the difference between performance art and theater, it's very difficult to say what is the difference, because the performance, as far as I know, and I interview older artists, more experienced, performance was it was dimension that was created with artists making many different disciplines, like poetry, through concrete poetry, active painting, revealing process of installations, and also experimental theater. So it's visual arts and theater, experimental theater made performance together. So we have all our own definitions what is performance art, and I have my own definition that is and I try to make it the way that it wouldn't be theater. But of course, what to do, I have all the time the questions, what to do to create a performance piece and not theater. And then, I have conclusions that I have to be authentic. I don't say myself, because you never know who we are. Yeah, we all the time discover who we are, and so of course not ourselves. The situation is so special. There is audience. I'm in front of them, so of course I'm not myself, but I try to be authentic. Then another thing is I try to or limit that the performance or me that would be representative. That no representations there. This is not the thing that I try to avoid. I don't say that is bad, because as I said, like the media are overlapping. We have different interests, but I try to avoid these representations. But even though it's, I carry the kitsch in me, kitsch, as a idea that I'm stuck to, and it's very, very difficult for me to get rid of it. So what? And I have expectations, and I know that audience has expectations too. So my methods to break this is to involve audience that I cannot control. So with no prior agreement, you know, I never say to anybody that I will use, you know, in my performance. I just do it, and it goes. And I try to get into specific, you know, moment that there is kind of flow. It's not always, you know, possible, but I try to challenge myself, and then I hope, you know, this is like my way of making action art, performance art. And this is very good example when I was, you know, still discovering it. So there is, you know, partly in the beginning and in the end, I'm using audience in its gray space in Brooklyn, still in Brooklyn, old space. That this is, if you don't know, I don't know if you know, but the space is dedicated to performance art. Jonas Stampe did this collaboration. He made 2 performance events in New York. That's the second one. So that was the collaboration with the space. I was already working in this residential organizations. This is office work, very new then for me. But I start to see how it is, how the art is organized from the other side. I go through applications. I see how the money are divided, how the projects are sponsored, and I understood very clearly that there is a lot of wasted money for art projects, because you know, like how easy is to, you know, for the organizations to give big money for big productions. Is this idea that that's going to be spectacular, we have to give it money for it. And then I saw, already being organizer also of my own events, that for this kind of money, a small chunk, I could organize amazing festivals, because performance art is so effective being so low budget.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So, and also still, you know, I'm very poor person, because I am foreigner, being in Finland, you know, from poor country. So there is also this aspect that, you know, how I try to also survive doing art and still, you know, supporting my life. So I'm working for the money. And so you see, I'm petting here the money that I just collected a little bit. I had with me, some collected before. I collected from the audience. So I was begging them, you know, that if you want me to perform, please give me something. And then eventually, you know, people, I was suspended. You can jump to the moment if you could. I was suspended from the ceiling, and the money was shaken out of me for a small xylophones, children instruments.
So yes, but so let's see the moment, and you know, a little bit of the process. We can continue talking. There it is. Oh,
look how greedy I am. I'm not so much anymore. It's also fun.
You can't even organize one small event.
Yes, but you know, it's so funny that these coins are disappearing. I think that I wouldn't do this project right now. So it's already kind of marking a time. It's only, what is it? It was 2010, I think, so 12 years ago. But we are using mostly now the plastic cards already, at least in Europe. So this is also kind of funny how that we have a piece of history already here. I sent it this video because I have to admit, and this I'm very shallow man, and I usually busy. I have big family. I'm working, usually organizing and doing my art on top of that. That I don't read so much concepts. I saw your call, and I thought that this is only about performance documentation, from performance, like less performance for the camera, but more as a documentation. And I like this idea because I think in first 2000s, we didn't have so much, not so easy access to cameras.
Yeah, so absolutely.
So that's why I sent it this, because I have to say I don't have so much from like in 90s. I have from 90s nothing, no videos, of course, obviously. I am happy that some pictures survived the flood. They didn't survive in my case. I collected from my friends later, because the copy of the same picture. So I have very few pictures. Then I slowly have some videos from the early 2000s, and only now I have a lot of documentation. It is very, so the performance is happening alive, and is forgotten, like I said before, forgotten moments. But I'm so happy that we have these cameras and can record now. So I'm not purist. I wouldn't say that don't record, don't make pictures. No. I say that if you have chance, always document what you do, because I'm so happy to be able to see my older artists' pieces.
Absolutely.
From the
Absolutely. Yes, it is very, very important. When I'm running the space BsAs de Olmo Argentino here in Buenos Aires, and the festival is one branch of it. And from the beginning, there is the commitment to document and the pieces, because it's a way for the ideas to live longer, and really how many times, for instance, how long we look at the images of Antonina Artaud, for instance, just a few images, a few clips that there are here, it's just but it gives us so much anyway. So it's really very important. There you have.
Yes. I'm also now surprised when I see that, because I haven't seen it a long time, that I ask the public to help me, to lift me, and I completely didn't watch them. If anybody is coming there, I was so absolutely sure that somebody will participate. This is something that is actually surprised me. I think that now I have more concern that if people would go with me into the craziness. But somehow you see it's this is my wedding rings.
Yes. So your performance, you basically it's very a lot of energy. You create this empathetic moment in which and there's plenty of people there. Usually in Grace exhibition space, there will be quite a few audiences, really amazing space. So there is this energy of empathy that completely takes and it's helps the building of the happening, the performance.
If I think about my experience, because first what it is to be able to create, we have to of course observe. This is the one friend told me the expression artistic input. So we collect all the experience. That's something about the reality, what we are talking, reality and fiction. We collect the experience, like our brain every day collects all this new experience, then we are sleeping and the brain is sorting it. I think that creation of art is also kind of sorting it. What is important for us? We want to put some message, but of course this message is always built on idea that is built on our experiences and observations that happened before. But that's why it's very difficult to say when the performance actually happens, start to happen, and when is the ending, when we still digest everything after. So yes, I also come with all this experience, all this artistic input. I have this idea what I want to express always, like in this case, but I try to not make it too clear, because there is this utopia that we all should understand the piece of art, the message perfectly, but it's utopia. Not audience will never see the same thing, you know, like we have different perception, different cultural background. So I already from the beginning, I'm coming into the performance, and I dropped this idea that everybody will see the same. To that extent that I will use some people and they will have different experience working with me. And then the others that are observing around will have different experience, and also different stage, because I can send somebody, for example, during my performance to shop to buy me something, for example. It is also different experience participating in my performance. And to deconstruct the medium, I also try more and more to discover how far I can go to reveal what is performance art. That's why I will use curators, and I will reveal them if there is curators or organizers. I will reveal technician, the photographer, because we have photographer, we have video camera. So I very often I will point it and put the cameraman in the middle of my performance. Or like I had this year experience that my performance was documented by analog camera, which changed everything, because I had to be stopped by the photographer when he was changing the film. It's only 8 frames you can do, or he was replacing me, or pushing me to the light, for example, because making analog pictures, you have to more think about this. Yes, about the lights. This revealing of buying materials, revealing that yes, there is this budget for it. The cleaning, very often during my performance already we are cleaning, the mess, if I cannot make it too much. So yes, all of this makes my performance, not only audience, not only me, but all this I try to use all this context, I would say.
Yes, absolutely. Yes,
and the modes of recording it. I remember the CDs, which I have some of the CDs with me. I have to really find out a computer where it can read these files. I don't find any. It's all lost. It's only in that memory. So I have to really hunt. And even in early stages, we used to have this big VHS cassettes.
Yes.
It's almost like it's so easy to send it.
Yes, it's classic to put these tapes next to the electric, wire or something, and they are the image is disappearing slowly. No, which is very performance alike, actually. This disappearing of the image is also very interesting. Recording and disappearing of the image.
Yeah,
I would say this is This is different stages of course of it becomes art of itself. Like documentation actually is the independent art of itself. It's not the same.
It is becoming
what we are watching. Yes.
Growing. Yes. Yes. Certainly, the documentation of performance, which is you can go about in different ways. So you were doing a piece with Super 8 or small analog camera just recently, Thomas?
It was the images, the medium format analog camera. So we did several pictures, beautiful, because they have also different poetic. This like
it's different.
Cliche. Yes, it's so we did. Yes, in Poland, I had exhibition when I it was actually called "The Artist Must Be Framed." About this, it was because I had exhibition when I show pictures of my performances, but because my performances are so complex, usually, it's very difficult to find what it was about on one picture.
Sure.
I was collecting for Boris Nieslony for the archive, 40 years of archive, some of my pictures, and that's what I understood, that my picture shows that something happened, but not really exactly what has happened.
What happened?
Yes, because there is parallel. If I work with audience, I can make it, not linear, but I can make parallel several actions because more people are involved.
Sure. Yeah.
So yes, very difficult to capture on one picture, but still, it shows that something happened. I think it's, and I decided to present it in the exhibition. First time in my life, I presented small pictures like in form of postcards that now I can give
okay.
people wherever I visit. I give, and they have to send it back.
Okay.
So not really
all
a
right.
present.
That's very good. That's a good thing to have the whole circle.
Yes.
To add time to it.
Yes, and then I thought about this, you know, like the difficulties to capture the performance, and we decided. I decided to make the picture documented with analog camera. It was my very experienced documentator called Antti Ahonen, who is usually documenting everything in Finland. So he went with me there to Poland with big camera, and he was trying to capture. And I thought to make it more dramatic and difficult, of course, I had very energetic performance. Like, for example, jumping through the frame, golden frame for the picture. So it's actually literal, yes, with the flames, you know, that it was like tiger. And it was very difficult so I had to repeat the gesture, you know, 3 times, which is, you know,
very also difficult.
Yes, also revealing that this one time only, yes, in action, this one time thing, you know, like, and the repetition in it.
So that project was a one-to-one with a special photographer.
Yes, but there was audience, of course. We were.
There was audience as well. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
My typical performance.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Oh, fine. I see it now. Now I picture the whole thing.
That's why it was so even more difficult.
Sure. Yes, I hope somebody videotape. We go back to video. The thing is with video is like this. The possibility to immediately absorb whole situations, right? And the space, the timing, and the inner movements in it. You know, all the different things there, as you said. The photographer, of course, the performer, the audience, objects, whatever else, all happening together. And then that material being presented as a traditional exhibition on the walls.
There is of course big problem even with that. Even we have, you know, several cameras. There is still problem that we see what the video camera wants us to see. The picture is cropped, and we are watching it later with the safe surface of the screen. Yes, it's kind of safe surface. And I see how much we are still losing from real performance. First of all, we lose a lot of the tension. I know that there is these obvious things that might be too dark, or that there is some smells, you know, that camera cannot capture.
The energy aspect is different. Quite.
Yes.
I mean, you know.
Yes, because, you know, this moment that we do not know what to expect. This what you say in your videos, you know, that we cannot feel the temperature in your video. You have to tell us about it. How much, you know, we would feel it so much stronger being there, that you cannot breathe. Also and the temperature. I know exactly what you mean, because once I was packed in the plaster, you know, like the invalid in Venice. There was 30 degrees. It was exceptionally hot in preview. In 2011, I think. And my friend forgot to bring me something to drink. So 3 hours I was, you know, in the sun, completely covered by the plaster. And so I know that I thought that maybe it's my last performance. There was this moment. I know how it is. And then in your video, the wind that I noticed, but when I would be in live, you know, then I would feel it, you know, the wind. That would be probably amazing moment for me. So these things are usually completely gone in video. So this is poor substitute, but only what we have so far.
Yes. That is really good. Wonderful. So maybe we can move into some more recent pieces. Yingxiang, you have something to show us? And
yes. So I will show some recent approach, I think.
okay,
After the pandemic. So that after pandemic, you have been talking about the film.
Yeah.
So I also made a lot of film. I made many film. I was so fascinated to do that. So
Yeah,
that
in a
is,
way, sort of this isolation really
yeah.
pushed us towards the machines, the audiovisuals, you know, for communication. And I noticed a performance artist producing like crazy. Yes.
So
I
had 1 minute film to show something. 1 minute.
Let's watch it.
Yeah. This is at the full moon. And this is a 32 days continuous filming by using box global variation.
Mm-hmm. It's like the diary.
Yeah. And I like music a lot, so.
Yeah. You're lucky to be close to a beach.
Yeah. 30 minutes driving.
Wonderful.
It is very beautiful at the beach. Something every day is different.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Mm.
Amen.
This is a show.
Are you Christian? Or you use the amen? No.
No, I'm
amen.
not, but I really like the religion music a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, I like religious music too. I mean, generally, and religious art also. I think there is an intensity in it that's what I like. The certain intensity that sometimes that brings into some people. No, and I'm not. If you ask me about religion, more geared towards shamanism and animism, like the earlier ways of connecting with nature. Spinoza.
And so I want to show the contemporary. I cooperate with the contemporary composer. Somehow, 2 years ago, 2 years ago, we had an exhibition in the art gallery. Somehow, the Taiwan. How is that? Taiwan Contemporary Music or some a museum or something. Yeah, that I had the project, performance, and image with the composer and the musician. I don't think this one had a musician. And
make sure we have good volume so that can hear. We are not hearing anything, but it hasn't started, or is that intro?
It starts, but no sound.
Okay, let's check. We are not hearing no. Volume. Your volume.
He has to check.
You have to check the volume within the video.
When he shares, he has to check.
Listen. Yenshen, when you share your screen, you have to select to share with sound as well.
Oh,
you're sharing screen there. At that moment, where is the command for selecting sound? Find the it's to the left at the bottom.
That button.
So when you hit sharing screen, check to share with sound. To the left, right, Malu?
The
No.
button? Oh no.
No,
I don't have
the
that
very
button.
left down. ¿Sí? En la izquierda abajo.
Claro.
The very left down.
But when he
At the first, it has to be done at once in the beginning.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So I cannot.
when you don't listen,
left down?
Chen. When you are picking
Yeah, okay.
sharing screen right there at the left, you tell it to share sound as well, image and sound. You see, because
Microphone, maybe this one. Yeah.
that's it. A ver, veamos.
No?
Wait. No. Oh.
No?
No. Qué raro. A ver, ¿puedes hacer un screenshot del?
tengo que
No, it's not possible. It should be, the command should be right up to the left, your left and bottom within the Zoom. When you
The
go,
Zoom, the left one.
Yeah. when you
major
go screen sharing,
microphone, yeah.
before hitting the image, give it sound.
No. No. Well, maybe I provide the link.
Mm-hmm.
I provide the link in the message.
In the chat.
In the chat. Oh no.
Oh, I've been talking without my mic. She's going to, Malin got it and she's going to run it now.
Yeah.
Big volume.
Yeah. I think this is only the electronic version. No musician.
Okay, go ahead, send the correct one, or no, there it is, there you are. Is that you?
Yeah, this one.
Okay,
that's
fine.
Me. That's me.
That's good, leave it there. So yeah. If you want to talk over, we still listen, I think, or, okay. Yeah, this experimentations with
me.
technology and stuff.
Yeah, that's me.
And you are improvising there. Are you improvising? Yeah.
I was improvising. Yeah. And because
Then the lights.
The image was made by me.
Yes.
I know
All
what
right.
will happen.
Okay. The lights are
the images,
course of
the
projections.
Yeah.
Programmed, right?
Yeah. The projections.
They are programmed.
Yeah.
So it's a sequence of forms, lights and forms that is programmed and projected.
Yeah.
And it's changing randomly, or is already a set, you know?
It's set, it is a set.
It is a set. It's not random.
No, not random.
Okay.
It looked like random, but it's set.
Yeah. I would do it random if I go into it, but it's what I need. I need random. Yeah. Wonderful. No, it's really amazing. We have a series here that this collaboration, but we call it. It's a different branch of curatorial. It's called sonoraje. It's like sound and landscape sort of two words connected in Spanish. Sonorage, we would say, perhaps translating it, but it's total improvisation, and some people come with handmade things to work, visuals like that. They combine sometimes video projections, like found material, found films, videos, and create their visuals also in an improvisational way. And the music is also improv. It's amazing. We ran it for 2 hours. And within the festival, we will have, perhaps the inauguration will be an event like that, because it can be hybrid, We can have it here in the space. Because we didn't say it at the beginning, or I didn't say at the beginning, but we are part of Cine Plus Perfo Festival. This is our 2nd year. I just ran this quickly. This is our 2nd year. And we are reviewing the works of artists that participated last year, as we have started running our new call that ends on October 20th. And the call this year is focusing on plural body collective thinking. So there's a whole a series of concepts that people can explore in the site, and also in some little videos that are running out there. We are trying to see, we will see who is doing collaborative work, simultaneous performance. And this is a form of collaboration, obviously. And so it's, the festival is also a research project, We throw some ideas, some calls, and stuff come, like last year was towards the past, active past. So we all looked into what were our relationships with technology and documenting pieces, as performance artists. Yeah, and look at that. Ooh. Yeah, and you light is part of something you have in your work, you relate to. Yes, very nice. Very good. So you do have this, you, as part of your formation as an artist, education as an artist, or explorations, sorry, you have done theater, or you have gone through some theater experiment, like performatic theater or experimental theater. Can you tell us a little bit about, Thomas was very clear in the way he understands performance, and we are all constantly thinking about it, and kind of like, yes, this is an expansive field. Everything, it allows for anything to come in, but at the same time, there is some specificity that we treasure. That's why it continues to exist. Otherwise, it would be devoured by, fast images, technology, and everything. Can you talk to us about this relationship, how you see this core of performance, the sort of conceptual core of performance that comes from this tradition of the visual arts, of course, and theater, which has existed. And of course, the visual arts we are talking about within the contemporary art, right? Because action existed forever, always being alive, and rituals, rituals like these forms that are constantly informing, and we are also deconstructing sometimes when we think of action as communication and poetry.
And,
go ahead.
I think the project that I cooperate with the composer were very, very, very special, because sometimes most of the time I create the image first. So that provides some structure for the composer to make electronic, or some musician will add in. For example, flute, or I think this one had a musician there inside somehow.
Yeah.
So that it became different because I somehow took part of the composition. Yeah. And the end, I had to become the performer. Somehow this is a kind of dance in this very abstract situation that I had to create some space that is different from very ordinary situation or ordinary theater.
I just have a question.
Somehow
this was projected simultaneously when you were performing, or you worked out later?
Pardon, sorry, again?
While performing, did you do a projection, or it was done afterwards, like you mixed?
Yeah, at the same time. Yeah, when I perform, there are projections. Yeah, understand?
Live performance, with the projections.
It's live performance. Yeah, live performance in a projection.
Certainly this the magic box, the magic image. That's the thing about like thinking about process and departure in the creation of art forms that demand, imply, or where the body of the artist is central or is part of it, is whether the departing from a concept or an image sometimes. Image, of course, each one ramificate in terms of processes, and at some point they meet, they intertwine, but there are like two possible different paths in the beginning, image, in a way, image is more unconscious, and concept it's something that already has some elaboration. Of course, unconscious is always there, and it's most of us, and we don't know, we have no idea, but it's the most important thing we are. So, and we are held by it, like darkness and light, and so And this, the music was live, and the musician is there as well, right?
The electronic part is pre-recorded by this is oboe or something, bass.
A bass.
She play live.
Oh, I see. But the instrument, I mean, it's not like. Is a bass? Is it? Unfortunately, I cannot see it very close, but it looks like a very interesting instrument. It's an electronic bass. I mean, it's an electric bass.
No, that's a traditional one.
A traditional.
Because
Chinese or what?
No, it's the bass, big saxophone. Basson? No, it's a bass, something like that. Basson? No. Bass. There's a very low sound produced because the composer don't want any reason or any 旋律, any melody. No, she don't want the traditional one. She don't want the traditional melody. They want they want the song, all kind of strange song.
So she's improvising, and the electronic sound is something you composed previously.
The composer, it's a pre-recorded,
Oh, and herself. she herself did the electronic and then set up to do the improv with the.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Yingsheng. Yeah, all these interdisciplinary experiments, and that was indeed a live performance also. Was it in the set of some theater? You have to have some basic technical capabilities to project. You cannot be so impro in that way.
Actually, it's very simple. It's only 2 projections. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
So
I
people,
want
yeah, go
to
ahead.
say something about one of my work. Maybe I can share the link and maybe
Sure.
and you can see it's also light based, and since we were talking about light, and I would like to share that. And
Great, sounds wonderful. Let's look at it.
yeah,
You know how to share the sound as well, right?
no, I'm just sending you the link. Maybe you can play it.
All right. Yes,
better.
yes, we play. Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems to be working fine.
Yeah.
Fantastic, perfect. And Thomas, you also have something you will show at some more recent stuff, right?
Yes, I will. But now, first we see this. Yes, this one.
We are going to see Dimple. We're getting there. Okay, there. Yes. Wonderful. Okay, so we go ahead and play it. Oh, okay. Okay, so
I arrived somewhere.
So the text is not, but when we were talking about light, and this was myself shooted myself in one of the exhibitions.
okay.
When I went to London, and then I later on I edited it, and I made this video work performance, like video edited performance. So
Video
most
piece,
of it,
yeah.
So most of it is with the light. So maybe we can, if we can move, you can see that light, the play of light is there always.
Yes. Yes, yes. It's a very interesting interaction. You're self-recording as well, so it's double action there. That's something we can do with technology now. Can you imagine before? There are pieces of dancers moving, with the camera. Some early pieces you will find that in YouTube. When the first technologies became more accessible, but they were still those big VHS cameras.
Not seen.
Maybe we can go a little faster because we can see more of light. Yeah, here.
Okay.
Yeah.
There. Okay.
The
Yeah.
infinite space. The infinite space. Is it inside?
Light is so fascinating. Light, yes, absolutely. Fascinating. It's to the mind, to our minds, little humans.
Trying to reach.
So we associate light with divinity. I think.
Arriving.
Yeah.
Also,
everything is divine, right? But I mean, there is this. Light is really fascinating for our psyche.
Also,
it could be scary too. Yes.
This is the actually also we have to say crucial for any photographic image. Image is light, and in case of video or of movie, it is light plus movement.
Yeah,
and sound of course. But light is one of the crucial things. And before even more, because it was not only recording the light, but also the process of developing. Yes, is also involving light.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so now we are immersed to, yeah, like photography from its beginning to, and film up to this point. It has become so much part of our lives and our languages. Language we use all the time. Yeah, very interesting transitions you did, Dimples.
Yeah, this
I
was
mean,
just a different tangent from what I'm actually doing with my work. But at one point, you also encounter this space which is not explored, and you want to do it.
yeah,
That's how I
yeah,
came across this. So it was about light, sound, and self. The fragments
yeah,
which we can't. We are always collecting these fragments over the time. And still we don't. We are not in total. We are still in fragments. So that was my intention, to bring the fragments.
yeah. Well, I tell you, I like the piece a lot. Me encanta, because, well, in a sense, it's like it's very much integrated. The moving image, the film, the instruments, and you are dealing it. And of course, you did the afterward editing as well. It's a different stage, but it's a piece. It's a video piece. It's amazing that also has you as the person recording, being part of it, and exploring. I like the exploration and the sort of abstract discourse. Of course, as visual artists, we have this whole huge part of abstract, painting and I mean, abstract imagery from ancient times as well, that informed us in. So very interesting. I like it.
It also brings the existential self, at different points.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
So that was my core idea, to bring this existential self, when you're totally with yourself, and still you try to bring that in front of an audience.
And that was something that sort of happened in a moment. You were crossing that tunnel, was it? Did I understand that that's the beginning, and that experience took you on to continuing in this dialogue with the camera and light and all the possibilities. Am I right?
Yes.
Was it? Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Oh, that was great. Okay, Thomas.
Yes.
And we're going to start. We look at what you offer us, and and then we do a wrap up amongst ourselves. Wonderful.
Yes, I try to. Yes, I try to now to do something. Let's see how.
Okay.
Because I am so new. Share screen. Yes, if I click that, you will see my screen.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Wait, not yet. Share screen.
Yes, I'm going. Yes, to do it. Yes, here.
Okay, that's it. It's taking a little bit. That's it. You're there.
And do you see me with the knife now? Because
yeah, of course, very well. We see you very well there.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, where should I put this? And you don't see yourself, I guess. Or do you see also yourself?
We see ourselves, in the little windows by the side.
But I think yes, I hope that this is going to be enough. Yes. So okay. I will not show you video because I perform quite a lot lately.
Okay.
And I mean, I perform a lot, and I have not so much time to. First of all, I'm not lucky with videos lately, and I don't edit it anything anything special.
Okay.
And as I said before, I'm not trying I'm not creating things so much, like for the sake of video or the images. I'm more like performing live because that's my main interest. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. That's clear.
But I had very interesting project speaking about our experience that we bring into performances. I was born in Poland when it was we had this so-called, it's supposed to be like social democracy there, but we all know that it was like totalitarian system. Now we know which eventually in 81 created such problem like rising up and civil war, martial law. I was 11 then when it happened, and also in that time Poland, like any other so-called Eastern Bloc countries, were isolated. So I was born in very close to the border, Czech and Czechoslovakia and German border down at that time, but it was not easy to cross the border. I mean, you had to be to know people or to be a special person to be able to cross. So maybe this is the first experience of this isolation. I'm also from the very small. I grew up in very small village. So maybe this idea of travel, that I explore now, is very important for me.
But it's always there, the theme of travel.
There was the moment in my life when I crossed the German border with my father. It was possible in late 70s for a very short time. The border is a river, so I remember very well when I was 8 years old and I was going with my father through a bridge that was covered by grill that we wouldn't jump to the water and escape. So I entered in the city called Zgorzelec-Görlitz. This year I was there there was festival about the border. They invited me there, but they didn't know that that's actually my home.
That story,
area.
of course.
Yes.
Wow.
So I could perform there, like using my, like clear experience, because very often I'm not saying that, as I said, I don't want to reveal the message so clearly. I so much like this idea that people will interpret themselves what is really happening. And bring also their own story, because with the participation, of course, everybody brings own story. So it's like our collective, a bit of collective story. Of course, I am the main director in it, and also I have to know that to be able to use people, I have to use certain methods, like for example, sense of humor. Even the stories are not so, like I don't consider them funny in the way, my performances, but I use sense of humor. And also the way that I put myself, because I demand a lot from the audience sometimes, really. And this is, always, I try to explain how much I can go, how far I can go. But I always try to put myself, to be fair, in the most humiliated situation. So this is the moment. Yes, I'm actually in national colors on the Polish side.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
With the knife, I tell the audience, that we have to be careful because it's improvisation. So like that. Everybody also take the collective, awareness of accidents. So like everybody is careful that nothing will happen. So yes, maybe the knife is just warning that things might fly. So we are going there all together to the shop to buy materials first. Yes, so they see how I'm doing. The first, usually this stage of performance is hidden, but here it's revealed. Yes, I buy 2 colors of wine, of course, the red and white, because it's like my national colors. And and we are going already, but in the shop I gave the to the organizers the receipts, so it's also that was
you gave the receipts.
Yes.
Very good. So
now
revealing the organizers and the economic deals. Very good.
And now like, of course, I'm drinking a bit of the wine. Most is wasted, actually, like usually. We are walking slowly to another side. So this all performances, there is small actions that it would be maybe difficult to reveal, but this is, you know, kind of walk and bringing these liquids, you know, like in our bodies and between, you know, slowly, which is possible only by doing this collectively. I also promised to the organizers that I will not perform on the bridge, because it's that was the agreement with the city, that the bridge should be shouldn't be blocked, you know. So, but I did, you know, like secretly I did. So now, yes. Oh, sorry, I went too far. But you see the Polish. This is Polish border. You see, this is the Polish.
Okay.
The border pole. So I started very quickly. Now we are going. You see this. This is crucial moment that I put the rope.
Yeah.
And
tell us what happened. What you're doing in that moment.
No, it's just that. Oh, it started to rain in the same time. So we have this atmospheric.
It started raining.
Yeah. And we are going with the audience on the other side of the bridge. You know. Meanwhile, in the middle, I took my underwear out, which is red, and my socks, which is white, hung on the rope. So, and we are going still further. Oh, you see, I also changed my clothes to have a bit of this transformation, like you have in your performances. Only that my clothes is not so attractive.
But nice color.
Yes, it's I lost my national colors in that moment. Yes, so
yes.
So maybe this is the nicer. Here we have curator who has to do, you know, some gyms for me.
Oh, that's the curator.
Yes, and now and now we are drinking, you know, our friendly drink, because, you know, so now we are equal in this moment, because it's question of power in performance. Yes, we are so freak of controls. To, you know, because we always wish to give our best. This is problem that I have also, but giving to the audience some parts, I lose a control. You know, I give away a bit of the control, not all, but a bit I give, and the same he has to give the control as a curator to the artist and to the audience. So this is, you know, the very kind of the moment when we probably accept this already. We are on the. We are on the other side of the border. We are on German side. So there is small actions, but eventually we this is another German.
The thread that you tied up on the other side and you brought to this side.
So as you see, it's the thread is still not still in the water. My underwear is now in the water. So I will be soon. Because I try to touch the border. Finally, I try to touch it with my tongue, but they dropped me. So I felt, so this is the failure or accident or that I supposed to be dry, but eventually I felt completely into the border, which is poisonous. Right. Yes, but the border completely took me, and now I'm touching it still with my tongue.
Yeah.
Now we are coming out.
And you had a good photographer following you.
Yes, the several actually. Nowadays it's easy to with the phones.
Yeah.
So now yes, I keep the rope, and then there is my underwear. I don't know if and then later curator is keeping my rope.
He has to hold the line clothes, with his mouth.
I wonder if no, they didn't make the picture, but there is just in the middle of the border, above the river. There was drying my laundry, you know, like national laundry.
Oh, yes.
So in a way, you know, maybe more clear message than usually, but that's why I would show you that sometimes it is there.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. So
but this
how
is very.
How long was the whole thing? Starting from the beginning that you got, I love that. That you went to get the materials, the wine, to the store, everybody, and of course you're already becoming a bunch at that moment. Everybody's with you. You're gonna give them drinks.
Yes, absolutely. There's small one are you know, like awarded by drink, the others not. There is always this surprise, you know, like in life. Some are more rewarded, some are less. But I think that everybody knows that here everybody is equal if this unknown. The curator,
Yeah.
me the same, because as you see, I had this accident. I fell into the water. The audience were keeping me, but I made a wrong knot, so it didn't.
You fell.
Yeah, I felt. So
Yeah.
everybody is,
Isn't that
everybody is
interesting?
surprised. Yeah, in that sense.
Yeah.
But and there was this small actions that I don't even can recall everything. But I think that
Of course, I know.
it was
Yeah.
it was about the border. It was about the border, or maybe the process of transition through the border, because that's what I experienced over my life in every levels. Many borders, but also on myself. When I came to Finland, I couldn't speak any language, for example. So being in Finland, I was still kind of mentally, living in Poland. Only it was like for me, death country. I learned later to communicate in English and in Finnish, much later, which also had impact for me. For example, for this wish of meeting people, talking and making something together.
Right.
So maybe this.
And you started acquiring the languages English and Finnish from the
communication. I
communication
never,
with people.
Yes, gradually.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And which
well,
also
that's also a long duration.
Yes.
Action.
You could say so. Also because it has such impact on somebody's creative language.
Absolutely.
And also understanding. Like, for example, first I thought that performance could be my alternative language, but then I understood that it cannot be. That language is completely different system, but it's alternative way of communication.
Yes,
it is communication. It is not language. So, for example, and also this conscious also changed my idea of performance, of that I understood that if it's not language, maybe to be understood, which I wanted to be so desperately understood, it's not the most important. And this moment that I don't have to be understood, and then also this that I don't have to succeed something, and I don't have to, that the process is already attractive of creation enough.
Absolutely.
Huge freedom. This freedom, I think that you can feel it, that I have such freedom because I don't have to anything anymore.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much, Thomas. I like your work a lot. And, it's wonderful to see the diversity with which, each artist sort of creates their own pieces.
This diversity. I also always say that that's why I like so much festivals and events, because I can see others, usually for free. And this is so inspiring to see, because this is also what I say sometimes to my students, that if it's live and you are in it, of course your personality is in it. So and we have different personalities. So the personalities are so exposed in the performance art, and that's what gives this variety, huge variety of works.
Yeah, and that special energy that each person brings, which is really, really so generous and amazing. Yes, we do. We are passionate about the practice, and people that have not discovered it. I'm sorry for them. They're missing a big important thing.
But this is also this is what we were we mentioned in the beginning about this role of the artist organizer in performance art, because when I see that we have some good grant system in Finland that I discovered very late, but we have it. But the problem is that I know that people who are, I say it loud, and if somebody is watching from Finland, they will hate me for that. But I say it, that people who are very often in juries, they are not attending live art events. I'm not so much organizing anymore, but I was, and I know that I have never seen them in my events. And then they decide, what is who is good performer only watching the applications. An application is even worse medium than video to give you this idea who is good, a good or not good, but performer that is worth to be supported. So we artists, we are going, we created our own circles. We go around, we see ourselves live. And that's why we have so much more knowledge, about what it is and who does what. We can see sometimes, if we're lucky, some artists several times, so we can see the development also. And also because we are participating in these events and we see others, we know what is the needs of performance art much better than this, the institutions, because the difference, the needs are different for performance art, different than for theater, and different than for visual arts.
Totally. Very much.
Usually,
And
usually the organization.
Yes, go ahead, Dimple.
Yeah, usually the government organization, they don't know anything about performance art. They always think performing art is something happening, and there is no idea of what is performance art,
Yes.
So whenever you are also kind of applying for grants, they just reject it because they don't understand anything about it.
That's our role. Our role is not only to create, but also the creation. At the same time, we are slowly educating people. Like what is performance art.
Yes. That's why we do more of public performances, and we reach out people and in different zones and things. And then there is some awareness of performance art later on. Like, I think it almost took 20 years for me, to convince people that, performance art is something more important.
But I have to tell you that this is never-ending question, and it's I have to say, and wherever I am, and I lately traveled a lot, it's still the same problem everywhere.
It is the same. It is the same.
But in a way, it's also
does not get it.
Yes, it's not getting. But maybe it's good that we are still a little bit elitara, because I think that maybe that's what keeps us going. If it would be too easy, maybe we wouldn't have such passion to it.
And also, I mean, I think it is there is something very deep going on there, which is like the humanity in it, and the social bodies that we are constructing, the way we relate to each other, and the way we come about in solidarity. We do these things with values that are necessarily rejected in the values of established institutions that deal with funds. And yes, here in Argentina is the same situation. This is 10th year, but the last 11th year, but the last 2 years we've been closed. We have not had presence events because of pandemics, because of the responsibility of what it would be, like somebody, how do you deal with, anyways, this complexity. But I've been inviting a lot of people that are curators, writers, researchers, and really, they don't show up. They don't come to see live performance. And there are people writing about performance, some, very few, not too many. And that, but, in the academia now, everybody's writing about performance, and what are their sources? They don't,
I have
you
to
know?
tell you that what I said, that you see, this is that I recognize this problem everywhere, the same, because
Everywhere.
Finland, I would suppose like, oh, we had such, at least the last maybe 20 years where Finland was so active in performance art, and our Finnish artists were always, you know, like had good representation in international events. And suddenly I organize an event that is not easy to access, I admit, because it is on the island during the night from 12 till 6. So you need a commitment to come there by boat, ferry boat, and stay there till the morning when the first boats start to go back to the land. So you know, these events, I agree, it was not easy to attend, but still I had more audience than ever on those events. And what has happened is that there is a critic who wants to write something about it.
Yeah.
So the proposition didn't even come from me, but from the critic, from the live journal that is online. It's called Ice Hall. It's academic people are working on it. So one of this academic person, but also artist, practicing artist, is promising that we'll come and see what is so special about these events, because there was already, you know, a lot said about it. And this person during the 2 years couldn't make any time, and there was 12 possibilities, 12 events. And eventually after last event, I got this request that could you send me videos, because I have to eventually write something about it. So even that shows, you know, like how difficult it is for the critics, you know, to come. And this is so crucial, because the performance art, live art performance is happening actually during the same time is created, the same time is received by the audience. You know, video, as I said, we can edit, we can correct it. There is not the same. It's not the same.
It's not.
No. So you know, like to write about an event, watching videos is like completely for me, you know, like it's.
Yeah, is the problem. If we go back to the problem body mind that we have in the westernized paradigm that is dominant in culture, where, you know, academic people mind, they think they can abstract and deal with concepts without being in contact with life. That's why we have so many problems in our societies, right? And so, okay, people, do a little transformation in your own selves, you know, it's like, you know, you will gain so much going to see performance. Live performance.
Because our
as
community,
persons, you know, if you can write about it, okay, go ahead, write it, you know. But
you said.
Okay. In fact, we have also seen that there is no critic anymore. Nobody writes a critical.
Exactly. The critics are scratched. Only curators.
But what is interesting for me is that you said about these small communities that we create during the events, and that's what I value the most. That we build it horizontally, because institution, you know, this is the vertical, and is, you know, like power structure, and so in a way. For me, the answer for this big production over, you know, this is pop culture, this is big production, lots of money, and it's probably so attractive and people will search for it. But we have still this alternative of our horizontally elitar, you know, evenings that, and then, you know, it's very difficult to compete with that actually.
It is absolutely. Maybe that's why they don't get close because we, you know, there's a lot of real energy and transformation.
I saw events inside of big exhibitions, performance events inside of big exhibition, and then I noticed, you know, like watching it from outside, that everybody watch performances, nobody watch the works around. So you know, like it's so difficult to compete with live.
Yes, it is. Wonderful. Okay, people, thank you so much. Oh, Dimple, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to finish it because, you know, you see performance art, which are like institutionalized, like a gallery. showcasing one or two performance artists in big exhibition, and that doesn't build a community, you know. The whole
Right.
core idea
That's a good
of
point.
community of bringing performance artists together is lost when it is specially spaced in museums.
By a big
So
institution.
a big institution. So
Yes.
that core idea of, you know, but that is also a kind of parallel trend which is happening, you know. So
Yes.
once you are
Yes.
like, you know, stamped or recognized and you're invited by a very big gallery, then you are a performance artist.
Yes. Yes.
Then you are just a community artist.
Yeah. Power to the performance artists. Come, we have it. We share it. We share it for free, people. Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. See you soon somewhere, hopefully live. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
take
you. It
care.
was very nice all to see you.
Beautiful.
Very, very
Thank
nice.
you so much.
Thank you so much.
Lovely. Thank you.